everybody. Welcome to our Barefoot Bedtime. Today we're going to be reading Herb the Vegetarian Dragon. Herb the Vegetarian Dragon was written by Jules Bass and illustrated by Debbie Harder. I'm Jean from Barefoot Books, and this is my daughter Evie, who's going to be joining us for this story. Okay, let's get started. Do you know what it means to be a vegetarian?
No.
Do you? Okay, well, we'll find out when we read this book. Herb the Vegetarian Dragon. Herb loves flowers. Okay.
What does he?
You'll see. He loves nature. Every dragon in the forest of Nogard was a meat eater. Meat Hook was their leader. Show you. I'm going to show the listeners Meat Hook.
Who's Meat Hook?
Here is Meat Hook. In the middle of the forest Nogard stood Castle Dark. Yep. There was nothing Meat Hook liked better than to raid the castle at night with his friends. He particularly liked the sweet taste of royal princesses, and the crispy crunch of brave knights was almost as delicious. The crispy crunch of brave knights.
They eat metal?
But one dragon was different. While Meat Hook and his friends sat in the cave planning their next raid, Herb was happy to tend his vegetable patch. He grew turnips and tomatoes and leeks and lettuce and cauliflower and carrots. He grew peas and parsnips, red and yellow peppers and parsley and potatoes. For Herb was a vegetarian. See him tending his garden? Look at all of those vegetables. Do you remember some of the names of the vegetables he was planting?
Carrot?
Carrots, yeah. Leeks, lettuce, cauliflower.
Peppers.
Peppers. Late one night,
Potatoes.
the brave knights held a meeting at Castle Dark. Bernard the Bold was their leader. The time has come to rid the forest of the fearful dragons who raid our castles. Bernard the Bold is him. Here's Bernard the Bold. He's the one who's talking right now. See him?
Wait, where again?
Listen carefully. The king has decreed that each dragon must be captured alive, because the dragons we find are to walk the plank in the moat of Castle Dark. Hip, hip, hooray! Shouted the knights. Suddenly a rush of air and the sound of wings beating through the nights for attention. Though the windows of the high stone walls, they saw a monstrous dragon flying away in front of the full moon. A dragon spy, called Bernard. Dragon was listening to their plans. Look. He was in the window. Very, very sneaky. The dragons met in a huge hidden cave. Let me show the watchers the cave, and I'll show you the cave. Meat Hook spoke. My friends, the knights are planning a hunt. We'll be ready for them, won't we? And in answer, the dragons' tails pounded the earthen floor, and the cave shook with the sounds of thundering evil voices. We'll singe 'em and fry 'em, boil 'em in a pot. We'll stew 'em and steam 'em, the whole juicy lot. What? No, bellowed Meat Hook. We shall disappear. Stay hidden in our caves. Wait them out. Then we'll attack, and then you can sing your songs. The dragons roared their approval of this plan, and their fiery tongues lashed the roof of the cave. Do you know what lashed the roof of the cave means? It means their fiery breath hit the ceiling of the cave.
Like him?
Like that. Like that. See that? As this was happening, Herb was cooking a new soup made of butter, leeks, onions, and potatoes. He smiled, licking his lips. Very tasty. I must give it a name. Herb's famous lake water veggie slurp. Oh, delicious. He's using his tail to hold his spoon. Herb didn't realize that he was in danger, and when the knights set out, he would be the only dragon to be seen in all of Nogard Forest. Because Herb doesn't know about the dragon hunt. Oh my gracious. That evening, hundreds of knights in groups of 4 set forth on their hunt, each heading in a different direction. See all of the knights heading out into the forest Nogard. For 7 days and 7 nights, they searched, but not a dragon was to be seen. How come?
Three of them saw one.
They did.
Yeah. See him peeking on that fence?
Oh. Then, on the last day of the hunt...
See, Mama, on the back?
Yeah. On the last day of the hunt... Oh dear, this doesn't look good. They saw a dragon in the distance. They knew just what to do. Herb was hoeing his garden, quite unaware that he was being surrounded on all sides. As he bent to pull out a difficult weed, the knights pounced. Herb's blue flame was powerless against the chainmail mesh of their nets. His wings strained uselessly against their ropes, and he was dragged away by his tail. What have I done? Thought Herb. Won't somebody tell me? But he couldn't speak because his jaws were bound tightly with rope. One of Meathook's spy dragons watched from a distant peak and glided away to report what he had seen. Oh me, oh my, poor Herb. Dear. The king ordered Herb to meet his fate down in the jaws of the hungry alligators in the moat. Oh my. From his small, dank, iron-barred cell, Herb could hear the horrid snapping sounds. Here's Herb. He's locked up. Oh dear. He looks so sad, doesn't he?
This used fire.
Suddenly he heard a voice. Psst, Herb, you ridiculous excuse for a dragon. That's not very nice. I have an offer to make you. We've decided to help you. Who's decided to help? We ask only one thing in return. Look who's come to the window.
Reader.
What is it? I'll do anything to save my life, said Herb. Take this, hissed Meathook, as he thrust his scaly fist up against the bars. What's this? Asked Herb. It's wild boar meat. Eat it and become one of us. It's a small price to pay for your freedom. See, that's the meat that Meathook wants him to eat to be free. Thanks, but no thanks, said Herb. I don't see it your way, so I'll take my chances. I don't ask you to stop eating meat, so why do you ask me to stop eating vegetables? That's a good point, huh? Meathook flew off into the darkness. You can't be different in a dragon world and survive, he said. What do you think? I don't think that Meathook is very nice.
He should eat it.
You think?
Yes, he should.
Well, let's see what happens.
Because he will get out.
Well, but he doesn't want to eat meat. Okay, oh boy. Herb is being dragged to the moat.
What's a moat?
Oh my goodness.
What's a moat?
A moat is a river that surrounds a castle. Hundreds of people crowded the castle moat as Herb was dragged from his cell. A rope held his jaws shut. A huge man with a long pole stepped forward. For the crimes of burning, stealing, and to serve as an example for all those who would dare to repeat these activities, this evil dragon will walk the plank. The crowd roared its approval. A drummer rolled his sticks as Herb was pulled to his feet at the water's edge. And then a tiny voice cried out, "Wait!" Someone cried out, "Wait." Who could it be?
The princess. The princess. The princess. The princess.
Could that little girl looks like she is crying. Maybe it was her. The drumming stopped. A little girl ran down the plank and grasped the pole as Herb teetered at the edge, and the alligators awaited their meal. This dragon is my friend. His name is Herb, and I've watched him tend his vegetable patch. I've played with him, and never once has he tried to harm me. He only eats vegetables. You must spare his life. There she is, this young girl from Nolgard, rushing to protect Herb. Stop! Cried Bernard the Bold as he approached the girl. How do we know what you say is true? Let's see. The little girl dragged Herb by his tail and climbed up his scales. Before anyone could stop her, she released the ends of the rope that held his jaws closed. They snapped open with a rush of blue flame, and she perched on his head. Nicole, get down from there, shouted a man. It's all right, Father, said Nicole. Then she climbed right into Herb's mouth and sat there with only her legs dangling free. Oh my gracious, that Nicole. She climbed on a dragon. See, do you believe me? Cried Nicole. He wouldn't harm anyone. Wow.
What is that?
There's a rope, and that's Herb's. Those are Herb's scales. See, he's got a blue flame.
Oh, yeah.
These pictures are so colorful. And look who's that watching.
Oh, yeah.
We almost missed this, boys and girls. There's a dragon watching Herb and Nicole. As the awestruck crowd stared up at her, the silence was broken by a loud crash. Meat Hook, who was spying on the proceedings, had fallen out of his treetop hiding spot. He lay helpless on the ground, his wings entangled in a mass of branches. At once 12 knights sprang forward and bound him with ropes. There's Meat Hook. He took a big fall. Oh boy, looks like he bonked his head.
And he's trapped.
He is trapped. That's one of those meat eaters, shouted the little girl as she climbed out of Herb's mouth. Beat him to the gators, someone yelled. Stop, commanded the king. There's an opportunity here. If we kill these dragons, we risk an all-out war and many will lose their lives. You, he said, pointing at Herb. The child says you're a vegetarian. By your word as a dragon, is that true? I am, Your Highness. I am an herbivore. An herbivore is another word for a vegetarian. And whatever your name is. Meat Hook, said Meat Hook, puffing up his chest. I am a meat eater, a carnivore, like my father and grandfather were. Very well, Meat Hook. I give you a choice. I will not ask you to change your eating habits. It is your choice to eat what you will. But in exchange for sparing your life, I ask that you and your dragon brothers stop feasting on my people. Stop burning and stealing and live in peace as Herb has done. But dragons have always burned and pillaged and devoured. No law can change that. Only you have the power to change what you are. We can all live in peace if we want to, said Herb. Release them, commanded the king. Dragon Herb and Dragon Meat Hook, I expect your answer by day's end. And here's the king discussing what to do with the dragons. Do you think they'll be able to work it out?
Kings are in charge of queens.
Are they?
Yeah.
I don't know if that's always true. In the hidden cave, all the dragons of Nogard met to hear the king's offer. It's a trick to de-dragon us, shouted one. It's better than a war, isn't it? Shouted another. It's not like we have to become vegetarians, said another. We just have to stop eating people, said a large dragon. Live in peace with people, I can't imagine it. There are the dragons all discussing what they should do. And if they can stop feasting on the villagers. We must vote on it, now, announced Meat Hook. Then all of the dragons voted, and the result of that vote is recorded in the history books of Nogard. And even to this day, the story is told of how Herb, the vegetarian dragon, brought peace to the forest of Nogard, where dragons and people, meat eaters and vegetarians, live together in peace and harmony. And there they are. Herb and Meat Hook are friends, living together with the village.
Oh, Mom, did you
in
even
peace
notice
and
this?
harmony.
Did you even notice this?
Oh,
Go back to that page.
okay.
Where was it?
On the front cover?
The cover. Where was that one of the pages?
Here, you can keep flipping. So that was Herb the Vegetarian Dragon, published by Barefoot Books, and written by Jules Bass and illustrated by Debbie Harder. And we hope you enjoyed that story about these dragons. Evie's very busy looking for a specific page. Are you looking at the cover? We hope that you have a wonderful evening, and thank you for joining us today. We're going to keep looking through this book now. And if you want to find this book, you can find it on barefootbooks.com.
And there's all the other dragons watching.
Yeah, just looking at the details. Bye-bye, everybody. Evie, can you say bye?
Bye.